Alright everyone, welcome back to Renovation Education. Today we're going to be hanging a shelf up here in my hallway downstairs area. For a shelf, you always want to make sure you have a stud, or that you're on a stud. And a way to find a stud is with a stud finder, and there's also a few other little ways I can show you. You could try to find a stud. First off, what is a stud? A stud, you know, is behind the drywall. There are vertical 2x4s in the wall that are there to support the wall, and they are strong. That's why we want to mount our shelf to a stud. So, a quick way you could try to find a stud if you don't have a stud finder is kind of look around and see what's around you. Here is my handrail, and this handrail is obviously going to need something supportive, so it is mounted on a stud. So you can find a stud that way and just go vertically up, and you know that's a stud. Another way to find a stud is by outlets and light switches. On one or the other side is a stud. You can pound, and whatever sounds more solid is another way to find a stud, or a high-powered magnet. You can kind of drag it along the drywall and it'll stick to a drywall screw, and those screws are on studs, so that's another way. But I have a stud finder, so let's go ahead and find some studs to mount this. All right, so here's our stud finder. We go ahead and press it on and drag it across the wall. There you go. Now that is the center of the stud. If you keep going, it'll tell you you're at the edge, and there's a center. So I went ahead and marked it, and our shelf's gonna be a bit longer, so we gotta find the other studs. But there's a few other ways I'll show you that you can also, when you find one stud, it's a lot easier to find the others. So on any basic wall, there's gonna be a stud every 16 inches, because studs are put on every 16 inches on center. So you can get a tape measure, and you can see on a normal tape measure too, right here, it'll have a 16 in the line. That means that, you know, when you're measuring for walls and you're putting in studs, every 16 inches on center, there'll be a stud. So you can easily go ahead and mark the next stud right there. So we're gonna mark the next 2 studs in a row. So this right here is my shelf base, and it is an old pallet I thought I can use as a shelf. So I like to go ahead and start my screws here. It's a lot easier than on the wall. So I'll just kind of barely get it in there. Good enough. And I like to use a impact driver for anything I'm screwing on the wall. It goes in a bit smoother than just a drill gun, but a drill gun would work good too. So now that we got this on there, we're just gonna put one in there for now and go ahead and tack it up on the wall. So go ahead and get your drill ready and try to put this screw right on where that you marked that stud from earlier. Just like that. And one's good. We're gonna go ahead and put a level on it, and then put on the end screw. So go ahead, throw a level up, get her nice and level. And go ahead and screw it up. There you go. Now I got that on 2 studs. I can hang off that. That's plenty strong enough. If you can't find a stud, or you don't have any right where you need it, use a drywall anchor, a strong drywall anchor. And this is what I'm going to use for the top part of my shelf. This is just the other piece of the pallet. So this is what I'm going to use, and we'll go ahead. I already started my screws so that it makes the install go a little easier. And then I didn't think I was going to see this, but I guess I am, so I'll paint that later too. Alright, there is the top piece. So these are the coat rack hooks I got. They were, I think I got them 10 of them for $15 on Amazon. Cheap enough. Come with little screws, so let's go ahead and put this up too. So I hope you like this quick, easy video. It's very simple, as you saw, hanging a shelf, and this is one I just made off of stuff I had laying around the house. So hope you like this video. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you didn't. Leave a comment down below of other little projects you want to see around the house, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have a lot of other videos like this on the channel, and I'll be making tons more here in the future too, so stay tuned for other videos. All right, we'll see ya.